In today's video, I'm going to walk through how to set up your new digital planner. And the first thing to do is get it on Etsy if you haven't already, and I'll link it in the description. And once you buy it, you'll get a confirmation page that looks like this. Then click on the icon that says download now. You might see a screen that looks like this, and then click allow. It'll go to your downloads on the top right, so click on that. And then click on the PDF to open it. It looks like this, and then you just follow the steps. And the first thing to do is go to the ClickUp website, and I linked that in step 1, so you'd click on that. And if you don't have an account yet, you can choose sign up, and if you do, then you can just choose log in. And then after you're signed in, you can go back to the PDF. And click on the link in step 2 to add the planner to your workspace. Then you can choose which workspace to add it to. If this is your first time using ClickUp, you would just use workspace. You can change the name of it. I'll just change it to tasks. And then click use template. Then you'll see it there on the left. Click on it to open it. And you'll see all the lists, the monthly calendar, the weekly calendar, and the day calendar. And the first thing to do is start filling out your lists. So the events list is where I put all of the fun things that I have coming up, like a vacation or dinner with friends, and I'll add one. So I'll just type in dinner with friends. And I'll set it for Friday. I'll add a time. And then click save. I'll add another one, so say I was going to Colorado, I'll write Colorado trip. Add a little emoji, make it fun. Put it on both sides. And I'll add a date to that. Let's just say I'm going on the 3rd and then coming back on the 8th. And then click save. And then in the work list, I add any work-related things that I have to do. So if I wanted to write a blog post, I would just type that in. So I'll do like write New York City guide blog post. And I'll schedule that for tomorrow at 10 a.m. And then save. And I'll add another one. Let's say I also wanted to edit a video this week. I'll type that in. So edit Disney video. I'll schedule it for Thursday. And add a time. And save. And that's how I keep track of all the work that I need to do. And the next section is appointments. So this is where I can add any appointments that I have. Like an annual checkup. I'll add that. Save. So that's where you can add any of your appointments. And the next section is where I keep track of all of my recurring daily tasks. So I like to remind myself to drink water every day. So I have that in there. And meal plan. And since I want this to recur every day, I click on the date. And make sure I have it set to recurs every day. And the next list is recurring weekly tasks. So anything that you do on a weekly basis, you would put in here. So like going for a walk or exercising, you could do that. And you can add the date. So say you wanted to exercise every Thursday, you would click on that and then choose Set Recurring. Leave that at weekly. Or if you wanted to change that, you could go to Custom and choose every Monday and Thursday. Save. And now that task will repeat every week on Monday and Thursday. And as you would expect, the next section is recurring yearly tasks. So here you can put anything that you do on a yearly basis. So like Christmas gifts, I remind myself to get Christmas gifts every year. And you can click on it and add names. So I add everyone that I need to get a Christmas gift for here. And then I can check them off as I get them. I also remind myself to get birthday presents for people. So I have a task for that. And I'll choose a date a few weeks before their birthday to give myself time to get it. Set it to recur every year. And save. And this next section is where I put all of my recurring work tasks. So things like reviewing income and expenses, filing taxes, or posting a YouTube video. I do that every Wednesday, 10 a.m. Set that to recurring and weekly. Save. Then there's a section for healthcare tasks, so you can keep track of things like refilling your prescriptions. And you can click on it and you can add things like the name of the pharmacy or website to make it easier. Scheduling checkups, you can add tasks for that. Recurring home tasks, so like washing sheets, doing the laundry, vacuuming, you can set dates for that. Like every 2 weeks or every week. I'll make this one every 2 weeks. There's a lot of stuff to keep track of. So recurring car tasks, like car insurance, you can keep track of that. Renewing the registration. Then of course there's a section for birthdays. You can add yours in. Set it to recur yearly. Add anyone else's. I like to add a few little balloons. So you can add everyone's birthday in there. And the last section is renewals. So if you have any professional license, you can keep track of that. Driver's license, passport, so you can add those dates in. And that's how I use ClickUp to keep track of everything for me. And you're probably also wondering, what about the holidays? And yes, that's a great question. Also very important to keep track of. You can also get my list of holidays on Etsy, and I'll link that in the description below. I have to sell it separately because the holiday dates change every year, so I have to make a new one every year. So that's why I can't just include it in this one. I wish I could, but I can't. It looks like this. It has all of these holidays, and you would add it to your workspace the same way. Alright, so that was most of the work. But you'll also want to set up your home page, and I'll show you how I set mine up so you can set yours up the same way. So go to Home, then go to Manage Cards on the top right. And I actually remove all these because I think they're cluttering. I just like to have one big list, so I get rid of everything except for Assigned to Me. Then I make that card bigger so it takes over the whole screen. I like to filter it by due date. So everything due soon is up at the top. And I also like to change some of these columns. I like to add start date and date updated. Then you can reorder them. And get rid of columns that you don't need. You can sort that too by clicking the arrow so it's in the right order. So now when you scroll down, you can see everything that's due. So everything due tomorrow, rest of the week, and then in the future. So that's how I set mine up, and now I'll show you how I set up my calendar. And to do that, you can go to Tasks, and then Monthly Calendar. And as you can see, all of the tasks that you added to all of those lists are now automatically on your calendar. There's also the weekly calendar, if you like that view, or the day calendar. But I just use the monthly one for the most part. And then I add some filters so it doesn't look so cluttered. And to do that, you can go to Customize. Make sure you have autosave on. Then go to Filter. And I like to do Location List. And I just want kind of the main things to go on my calendar, so I'll choose Events, Work, and Appointments. Also, I like to have birthdays on there. And I like the status to be active and closed. And the reason why I do that is because when I click on it, I don't want it to just disappear from the calendar. So when I click on it and mark it as closed, it stays there and doesn't go away. And you're going to want to add your calendar to your favorites. So you can right click on that and click Add to Favorites. You can rename it. And now it's saved to your favorites. So it's easier to get to. And the last thing I want to show you is where you can put all of your notes. So I also use this as my Notes app. It's my calendar app, to-do list app, and notes app all in one. So what I do is I go down to the bottom left and then click Create Space. I'll call it Notes. You can change the color, an icon, and create space. I'll add a doc here. So if I wanted to make a list of all the fun things that I wanted to do, I could call this one Fun. And start writing. And then I can make multiple pages within that. So I'll do a travel page, for example. Make a list of everywhere I want it to go. I can make one for movies. Keep track of all the movies I want to see. I don't need that, so I'll just delete it. And then I could add another one. Let's say I wanted to make this one for work. So I'll do a page for video ideas. And another page for blog post ideas. Another page for goals. And that's how you can also use ClickUp to organize your notes. And one more thing you're going to want to do is customize your notifications, because by default, for some reason, you're going to get a lot of email notifications. So to change that, you can go to the top right and then notification settings and email. Choose custom. And then you can uncheck any of these. I uncheck most of them. And that's it. Now your ClickUp workspace looks exactly like mine. Like, this is what I use on a daily basis. Alright, and that was how to set up your new ClickUp workspace. The link to this template is in the description below, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions. In my next video, I'm going to review some tips that are good to know about if you're new to ClickUp, so definitely check out that video next. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.